My area of research is probability theory, models with randomness. I look at random walks and boundary motion and various kinds of versions of that, most of which have their roots at least somewhat in the statistical physics community. Let me just start with the basic idea of random walk itself. The simplest idea of random walk is exactly what it is. Let's imagine we're on a grid, and every time we reach a corner, we flip a four-sided coin, assuming you have one in your pocket, and you go that direction, forward, to the right, to the left, or backwards. That's a two-dimensional random walk. And that's how some people actually randomly go through a city. Of course, in most cases, one doesn't quite do that because one likes to wander randomly, but not to end up at the same place all the time. So one often looks at the directions where one hasn't been, or tries to find random routes that meander around, but don't backtrack. And the idea of random paths that don't backtrack, they arise in statistical physics, they arise in other areas as well, and there are many, many different kinds of different levels of difficulties trying to understand and also different behaviors. The most fundamental was what's called a self-avoiding random walk, which just says, look at all possible ways you could go without going someplace you haven't been, and just say, what does a typical one look like? And that was a very easy to describe problem, and it still is absolutely open. No one knows how to prove anything about it today. But we know a lot about it. Now, in the meantime, there are lots of other similar models that come in. The loop race random walk is one where you sort of go around randomly, and every once in a while you return to a place you've already been. In that case, you say, well, that little meander wasn't worth anything, let's get rid of it. Now I'll keep going again. If every time I return, I get rid of the meander that returned. So what I've done is I've erased my loops. And then I have a path that goes like that. Now that sounds like sort of a trivial way of doing this, a little fun thing to do, but it's related in mathematical physics to things like what's called uniform spanning trees and things like that. There's lots of actually purposes in it. And that loop race random walk, while a challenging problem, has at least been one that we've been able to make some significant progress on.